Hi, this video is about what are SEO backlinks and how do you get them. Sometimes it's really important to go back to the fundamentals. There are a lot of professional sports coaches that talk about how important the fundamentals are to the game. I think who's widely thought of as maybe the best NFL coach of all time of the Patriots. I'm forgetting his name off the top of my head, but he basically, anytime anyone asks him, why is somebody going to win versus why is somebody not going to win, and he says it always comes down to the fundamentals. So actually understanding this, even if you're somewhat advanced, is going to be very useful. And even if it clarifies or reminds you of what really matters or what is the basic building block here, I think it's super important. So I'm going to talk about, what are the important properties of backlinks? What are some good ways to build backlinks that actually help you rank, or, to kind of differentiating between the backlinks that don't help you versus the backlinks that do help you, kind of at a high level. My name's David Hood, and I have made well over $1 million online with SEO, and I'm on a mission to help 10,000 people make their first $1 million online. I make this video for Digital Domination Dojo, which is the brand I have around basically SEO and making money online. Okay, so first let's define it, and we'll use this studious woman here. Let's talk about backlinks at their most basic form. Let's actually pull this up here, and we're gonna go here. Okay, so and I'm just on RottenTomatoes.com, and you can check this yourself. If I go here and I right click and I do inspect element, you can go here and you can see Ahref / mobile endgame. Okay, so basically anytime you see Ahref equals something like this is a backlink. Or really anytime on any website you can click on something, I run the mouse over it and you can click on it, that is a link. Now this is a backlink that goes to a page inside their site, but if this went to say a separate website, then that would be considered a backlink. It's still a backlink because Google does look at the internet sort of like individual pages, but also at the same time different. They look at it in terms of websites as a whole as well. So that is one of the fundamental parts. One of the other things that I want to mention that's really important is anchor text. So in this case, anchor text is Avengers: Endgame. And this is a huge part of how Google decides what you're relevant to. It used to matter a whole lot more back in the day, and it was how people gamed Google. They would just, if they wanted to rank for Avengers Endgame tips, I don't know, whatever, they would just make that their anchor text for their links that are coming back to their website over and over and over again. But Google now is able to tell that is unnatural to a significant degree. And so it becomes it's much more difficult to game that system. Also, what I would say is you kind of have an anchor text profile. And if I click on anchor text right here, I do believe that Google looks at this, and this is part of their algorithm where they look at what is this profile of anchor text in terms of the percentages. Is it natural? So what we have here is we have a real brand that almost certainly is not doing any significant amount of SEO like what someone who might want to game the system. Now, that doesn't mean they're not doing any SEO, but this is kind of what I would consider to be a natural anchor text profile. You can see 24% of the referring domains pointed to them have the brand name, and that's very natural. And really, if you think about it, there's an extra 10% that also have their brand name. What you want to do in terms of because it's going to be niche specific, you want to search for who's ranking on the first page and look at the top 10 people, or maybe even look at multiple search phrases, look at 5, 10, 20 websites, look at their anchor text profile, and take some notes on it and try to analyze as a whole what is a good anchor text profile. And sometimes there are exceptions to this. Sometimes you'll still see people ranking who will have like Avengers Endgame review, and they'll have a bunch of anchor texts that are exact keywords, and that still can work. It's much more difficult, much more likely to give you some issues. No follow versus do follow. You do see do follow on here. Technically, do follow is not real. There's no such thing as a do follow link. It's just something that's convenient to say, not no follow. And basically, I can't remember exactly when. I want to say about 10 to 12 years ago, Google, in order to fight spam, one of the things that they allow websites to tag a link. Let's see if I right-click on this. Actually, this might inspect element. Will it give me the thing? To tag a link with no follow. And what this does is not supposed to pass as much link juice or authority or power through the search engines. Okay. And so no follow links aren't as powerful as no follow links, or for shorthand we'll call it do follow. And also no follow links, the anchor text, I don't think it matters at all really. There's evidence to support this, that almost really only the do follow links that matter for anchor text, but no follow links can help you or hurt you rank. I think that no follow links do pass relevance. So if it's a highly relevant no follow link, that can actually help you build rankings. You also want somewhat of a natural distribution here. You don't want all no follow or all do follow. Both of those are typically unnatural. And again, look to your competitors to see who what their do follow versus no follow. Honestly, I don't think it's like really important to have like the exact proportion for them. I just think it's good to have both. It's very natural. Okay, now there's another, and this is a little bit advanced. It took a while for me to really fully understand. I thought I understood it, and then I thought I understood it, and then I thought I understood it, and then it finally I really I really think I understand it several years ago. And there's this idea called TrustFlow, and this is a tool, Majestic. This isn't Google, but Majestic is taking basically a concept that Google, they think they filed either a white paper or a patent or both on TrustFlow. I want to say 2006 or 2008, something like that. And essentially what they do is they look at like in terms of how far back are trusted sites in terms of hops back on your links. And so if you have a higher quantity of links that are really close to trusted sites, kind of what they call... Sorry about the sudden change. I had a phone call I had to take. Okay, so we're talking about trusted seed set sites. So this is telling you how close you are to the seed sites, and this is an exponential scale from 0 to 100 in terms of from a referring domain standpoint. This is incredibly high, 78. So this is obviously a very trusted site. The flow, the topics of it match what the site is about, and that's can be important. It's not like 100% accurate. You also wouldn't want the citation flow to be significantly higher than the trust flow, which would be an indication of kind of low quality links. It'd be an indication that you're further from the trusted seed set of sites. So that is something to keep in mind. Okay, let's move on. Other important factors. So the on-page factors for the domain and the page that the link is found on. Okay, so what's the title of the page that the link is found on? What is the URL? What are the H tags? What's the domain name? All those things are going to matter in terms of how valuable is a link. And I have several other videos that talk about like what really matters from a link. I'm not going to go too deep into it here because I think I covered it pretty well in some of the other videos. Okay, so also the link profile of the page and domain that the link is found on. So it's not just about what's going on that site. It's also about what's going on with the links that are going to the site that's going to your site. Okay. Also, there's sort of a different ratios that Google looks at, and one general high-level classification of ratios would be sort of like penalized versus filtered versus unpenalized links. So filtered is sort of a form of penalization where they filter you for specific search phrases. They filter you out, but you're not like necessarily fully penalized. But in general, I would say kind of like penalized versus unpenalized links. So if you have a bunch of links pointing back to your site that are penalized, let's say you have 10 links and 7 of them are penalized, are on websites that are penalized by Google, that's bad. Not only that, but if, let's say, you have a website linking to you and they have 10 outbound links from that page that they're on, and 7 of those links are to penalized sites and 3 of them are not, then that is also going to be a bad link. So it's from multiple angles. And also, what about the links going to your links? Are those going to be penalized? What percentage of those? Those are all going to matter as well. Okay, so how to build. Again, I did several videos on how to build some of these things, and there's a lot of this is covered, but I'm going to try to cover some main area, some big areas that a lot of people use to build quality links. And it's not just about the and this I'm going to kind of focus on the type of link, but it's not just about the type of link. This is a really big kind of misthink or improper way of thinking about this that a lot of people think about. They think what types of links are good. Well, I mean, that kind of matters, but it also matters like these properties up here that we talked about. You can have one of a type of link. Some links can be really good and some links can be really bad for you. So keep that in mind. Okay, so content marketing. This is how a lot of people do their link building. Okay, and this is a valid way to do link building. At the same time, this requires a lot of social, and you are doing essentially kind of outreach. You're building great content, and then you're reaching out to people and saying, "Hey, will you link to my content?" I'm dramatically oversimplifying it, and there's whole groups of people that do this, and this does work. At the same time, just because it's outreach, it's technically people think of this as, oh, this is why I have link building. That doesn't mean it's going to help you and not hurt you. Again, we go back to the properties of the links. Do the properties match up? Are they relevant? Are they authoritative? Are they not penalized? All these things matter. One of the simplest ways, especially for local businesses, are niche and location directories. So if we're talking about, let's say, a plumber in Dallas, you want to get into the Dallas-based directories. You also want to get into the plumber directories that are authoritative and not penalized. Link stealing, I showed a whole video on how to steal links from your competitors. You research what links your competitors have, and you try to go get them, the ones that are good. Broken link building, I don't have a video on this, but this is something that is legitimate, where you kind of scan some like a valuable, relevant website for any sort of links, outbound links from their website that are valuable, but that also, that are broken in terms of they 404. And there's tools that can help you do this. And then when you find that, you build a piece of content, or if you already have a piece of content, you approach them, you say, hey, I noticed this link was broken. I have a piece of content that you can put in its place. And this is a kind of a form of outreach, but I put it in a separate thing because I think it's pretty different in a way. You're kind of providing a service. And it's not guaranteed to work like any of these other forms. Blog commenting. Now, this was really big. This used to work really super well. About, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, you could just like load up 10,000 blog comments into a tool, and it would rank you really quickly. Now these are kind of spammy. A lot of these are no follow. Some of them are do follow. But you can kind of do kind of a low volume blog commenting. This can actually send traffic to your website, which does help to some degree with rankings. But also, if it's on a relevant website to your target market, to your niche, to your keywords, this, even if it's no follow, it can still pass relevancy. I wouldn't say this would be like the number one thing and you'd want to do this all the time. And I'm sure that, if enough people see this video, they're going to be like, blog commenting, you're stupid. But that's... It is an old school technique that used to work in a different way. It still works today. It's still a link. And again, it's less about the kinds of links than it is about the properties of the links. Okay. And then there are ways to buy links. This is a valid way. Google technically doesn't want you doing this, so it is a little bit gray hat, if not black hat, depending on what you get. I would be careful about how you buy this, and I would definitely not recommend to anybody buy links until you have a lot of experience. You'd think that, if I'm inexperienced, I want to buy links because I want other people doing it. But if you're inexperienced, you're not going to be able to. It's going to be difficult for you to recognize good quality links and to give them the instructions on how to build the good quality links with the right properties with paid links. Okay, so it's kind of a chicken and egg thing. It's difficult to without actually getting some SEO experience to really hire someone to build links for you. But this is one of the biggest mistakes I see people make. They don't really understand link building. They don't understand SEO very well, but they just go out and they buy a bunch of links. I don't recommend that. I think that's a bad idea. At the same time, buying links can be good for you. I mean, a lot of people, they sell outreach marketing. Okay, so that's it can be valid. A lot of the people, if you're getting approached, I get approached all the time with people saying, here, you can get a link on Huffington Post, or they'll give you a price list and say, we can get a link on this website for this amount. I usually don't. It's not the kind of people that I would use for outreach type marketing, but there are different ways to buy links. I'm just letting you know, but I wouldn't start there. If you're just getting started with SEO, don't do paid links. So hopefully you liked this video and found it helpful. If you did, please like it and subscribe to the channel for more great SEO content or online marketing or make money online type content. If you didn't, feel free to, you can thumbs down this. That's your, your opinion is your opinion. You can let me know in the comments what you thought was good or what you thought was bad or what you disagreed with, or if you thought I should have expanded on something. I'd be happy to hear from you and I will respond. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye.